Okay, so this is a new update. Today is Sunday, it's the 2nd of June, and a couple of days ago, something miraculous happened. And it's a lesson for me, big time. Everything happens for a reason. And I know for sure that God's hand was in this. But here's what happened. So, in my last update, I explained about the blood clots in my lungs, which caused damage to my heart and my lungs, and I ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks. And when I was released, I went to go visit my oncologist and was informed that because of the damage that was done to my heart and my lungs, we have to wait until the damage heals before I can have the surgery that will remove the tumor from my pancreas. And so, since we had to delay for that, the delay um, was estimated to be about 2 months. I would have to go back on chemo for those 2 months so that the tumor doesn't grow. And I was a complete and absolute no to that. I knew in my heart I could not suffer another round of chemo. I just couldn't bear the thought. I just went through 4 months of chemo and I just wasn't unwilling to undergo more chemo. And so I was contemplating what other alternatives I had. And one of the things that the oncologist had sent me to the surgeon to determine, when the surgery was going to take place, he made an appointment for me to see a cardiologist to determine whether or not my heart could take the surgery because it's major surgery. It's going to be about a marathon 5 to 6 hour surgery, and they had to know for a fact that I could actually, my heart was strong enough. So my appointment with the cardiologist was on Thursday, which was May 30th. And so my insurance pays for me to go to my doctor. They Uber me to the doctor appointment and back again, and it pays for it, which is great because I often don't have any funds. I'm currently not working. I'm on Social Security, and it comes once a month, and usually I pay my bills with it. Once that's done, there's no money for the rest of the month, which is why I have the GoFundMe. That's the money I use to pay bills I can't pay with Social Security, and I use it to get around when, I need to get around because I don't have a car. And so consequently, the Uber came to pick me up and took me to the cardiologist's office on Thursday morning and dropped me off at the wrong address. I didn't know that I was at the wrong address because this was my first visit to the doctor. And when I was dropped off, I assumed that I had been dropped off where I had told them to drop me off. So when I went into the building and went to Suite 100, I asked for the cardiologist by name, and they said they had no such doctor in that building, and I didn't know what to do. So I sat down and I looked through the paperwork, and I realized I was at the wrong address. And so, not having any money, I couldn't call an Uber to come and get me. And if I call the insurance, that takes something. I always have to call the day before so they can arrange for the ride. So for me to call them, at 8 o'clock in the morning and say, you got to get me to my appointment, if that wasn't going to happen. And I didn't have any money to call an Uber on my own. And I was completely stumped. I didn't know what to do. And so I'm looking at the address, and I realized that the address where I was supposed to be was at 2880, and the address where I had been dropped off was at 3150. And I had this thought, well, that's only a few blocks. I can walk that. It's 8 o'clock. My appointment was at 8:30. They always tend to drop me off about 30 minutes early. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to walk. So I got my little walker and I just walked those 3 blocks to the doctor's appointment. And I showed up. I was on time early, actually. And so they brought me in, and the doctor proceeded to do a barrage of tests to determine if my heart was strong enough to undergo the surgery. They did everything. They did EKGs. My oxygenation of blood. They tested my lungs, my blood pressure, everything. All the tests came out normal, absolutely perfect. And so the doctor was sitting with me, and he asked me some questions, and he asked me, "Do you exercise?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he said, "Well, how about walking? Do you walk every day?" I said, "No, I don't usually, but I did this morning because the Uber driver dropped me at the wrong address." So I walked here from 3150, and I did that. And he looked at me, his eyes got big, and he said, "You did what?" And I said, "Well, I walked here. They dropped me at the wrong address, and I walked 3 blocks to get here this morning." And he says, "But you were on time. Did you have to stop? Did you get winded? Did you get tired?" And I said, "No, it's a beautiful day." He said, "It's 110 degrees outside. You walked in that weather 3 blocks and you're not winded and all your tests came out all right. Well, if you can do that, then you can withstand the surgery." And he got up. He said, "I'll be right back. I'm going to go call your surgeon right now." And he ran out and called the surgeon and told him that I was up for the surgery. Then he came back and then he explained to me about the blood clots. He said, I looked at your files and I see the damage that they're talking about in your heart and your lungs from the blood clots. And what he said was, it's minimal. I mean, the reality is that we can heal you, but it's not going to stop you from getting the surgery, especially since you just did something that somebody half your age might have a problem doing. So I'm going to tell them, I'm faxing them this letter to schedule your surgery because you are in a window of time where the surgery is, it's an emergency that they do this surgery right away so they can get that tumor. Once they have the surgery and remove the tumor, then you'll come back to me and you and I will work on healing the damage that the blood clots did to your heart and your lungs. And he even showed me, he had a little plastic heart and it opened up and you saw the different little chambers and he explained to me the damage that was done. And he said it's not, it's minimal. We can handle this. You and I will work on this after your surgery. And so I left with a letter in hand that he faxed to my surgeon saying, go forward with the operation. So the good news is that I am now being scheduled for surgery to remove the tumor. I am not going to get any more chemo. And I knew in my heart that I didn't want any more chemo. And I knew that wasn't what there was for me to do. And it all turned out. And the whole thing is just so incredible. Why did the Uber driver drop me at the wrong address? Because I called and the insurance people put the right address in. I had given them the right address. I verified it was all set. But when he dropped me off 3 blocks away from where I needed to be. And when I walked, it's just unbelievable. The EKG, the blood pressure, everything was normal. And he said, if you can do that, you can get the surgery. Boom, over with. And that is unbelievable. So this update is on a much more positive note because I have to tell you, I hit a snag when I heard that I would have to have more chemo. I was a no, thumbs down to more chemo. Chemo sucks. Now I understand when people talk about their health journey and when they're dealing with cancer, this whole thing about chemo sucks. So I am going to be going in for surgery to remove the tumor. I'm going to have to recuperate from that surgery. And once I do, I'll be cancer free for the first time in 4 years. I cannot believe how unbelievably miraculous this was. But all I can say is everything happens for a reason. I couldn't even begin to tell you anything other than God has my back. The fact that I was dropped at the wrong address and I walked 3 blocks to get to the doctor's appointment and I made it within 10 minutes at my age and dealing with cancer, that I wasn't the least bit winded at all, blood pressure normal, EKG normal, everything was normal. So I'm very, very happy. So my next hurdle right now is to pay my rent for June. Yesterday was June 1st. I don't have the rent. Like I said, I'm not working. I don't get my Social Security till the middle of the month. So I'm always late paying the rent when I use my Social Security. I try to use the GoFundMe to pay the rent so it's on time. And I also am still working on the project to get my things out of storage in California and bring them to Nevada. And I have some family members who are working hard with me to make that happen. So if you can give please give. I notice that there are several people who give multiple times. Every time I do an update, they give. I want you to know that I love you. You are making it possible for me to live through this incredible journey of dealing with cancer. Without your support, I couldn't do it. And now that this has made it very clear that God has my back, that I'm being supported and helped get to the light at the end of the tunnel, all I need now is just a little bit more support, and then I can get work and I can start generating, revenue on my own, and whatever I can do to support you, I want you to know I'm there for you like you're here for me. So thank you, especially to people who have given multiple times. Just unbelievable support. Thank you. Sandra Matthias, thank you. All of you who have given multiple times, thank you. I want you to know that I appreciate you. For so long, for so many years, I supported transformational work, and now the universe is giving me back in kind. So, Linda Maggot, thank you. All the people who are helping me, thank you. Thank you so much. Catherine Sirice, thank you. Mary Jo, I'm never sure the last name that's on here, Gribbling, but you've given multiple times. Thank you. The people who have given multiple times, I want to especially thank you. Opal Johnson, thank you. I can't tell you how much it means to me that you're absolutely supporting me. Thank you. Balaji and Lisa, thank you. Peter Glassberg, thank you. The people who have made it possible for me to keep on slugging it out here. Because of you, I'm here, and now I've been supported, and I'm going to have the surgery, and I'll let you know. I'll update you when I get the surgery date. Just know this is major surgery. They're going to remove the tumor, but also a portion of my pancreas, and they're going to remove my spleen. A lot of people don't know what the spleen does, and you probably have heard that it's one of the organs, kind of like your appendix. It's kind of like not necessary, but it is an important organ. The spleen is the organ that is your immune system. It manages your immune system in your body. So when I was in chemotherapy, I was warned to isolate myself because chemo, it actually it takes away your immune system. So you're now vulnerable. Your immune system is compromised. And so I had to isolate myself. I don't go out anymore. I have my groceries delivered. I have my laundry sent out. I don't go out in public anymore because I have no immune system. I can't fight germs. So with my spleen gone, I'll be in the same situation for the rest of my life. I don't know that I need to isolate myself so much in the future because I won't be as weak as I am now. Right now, I'm pretty weak because of the chemo. I'm getting over the chemo because I haven't been in chemo for weeks. But once I am recuperated from the surgery, I'll still be Pam. I'm not going to be sick anymore. It's been so wild to have cancer twice and to be fighting it, but I want you to know that I couldn't have done it without you. So if you're somebody who has given and hasn't been thanked, because I got a little concerned because somebody wrote to me and said they hadn't received a thank you. And I set up a thank you to automatically go when somebody donates. So if you haven't been thanked, this is me thanking you. And I want you to know that I could not have done this without you. So thank you. I'm working on my next book, and I'm also writing a screenplay. I've been keeping myself busy, and I'm not working right now. So the money I am receiving is the money I'm getting from the GoFundMe. So thank you again, and I love you, and I am tickled pink that the surgery has been okayed, and I'm moving forward. Soon I'll be cancer free, and I will be in communication about that. So thank you once again. Take care and be well. Goodbye.